So we have to start all over again, because we've got new people. Start at the very beginning.
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve, exactly. Good starting point there. First there was the Word. So it's just a sharing from nobody, from nothing actually. It's a conversation. And if you think about a conversation is simply energy. You know, it's just energetic. And in any conversation, you can stay exactly with the words of the conversation. What exactly is that person saying? Word for word for word. Or there's another possibility in the conversation. You can just energetically feel a conversation. And the words are the words, but sometimes there's maybe something else happening in the conversation. Let's say there's a kind of an energy to something. We all can relate to it. We can remember conversations where somebody said something and the sub energy was the opposite of what they were saying, maybe. Or maybe not the opposite, but something else, right? And this is what this is about. This is about another possibility that is actually indescribable and unknowable. So I can't sit here this afternoon and describe to you a thing called liberation, and what liberation is, and how it may or may not happen for you, or whatever words I use. Because they're actually liberation, if we want to call it that, is not knowable or describable, and is not a happening. It's not a happening. And actually liberation is actually all there is already. It's simply directly all there is already. So this is the difficulty in this conversation, is that it's so immediately just aliveness, sitting, peopling, couching, nice big leather couching, praguing, cammering. It's so immediately just whatever is appearing that it can't actually be described or known. Any description of it or knowing of it is immediately an abstraction and a concept. So what's done is there's a sharing, a suggestion from nothing. It's nothing to do with Kenneth, nothing to do with anybody there. It's from nothing, and it's energetic. It's completely energetic. It's not about following the words exactly and the question and the answer and staying with the concept of what we're... But that may happen, and there's nobody being asked not to do that, because actually there's nobody in the room. There's no individual in this room, because there simply is no individual at all, ever, because there's no separation. There's the appearance of an individual and separateness, time, space, causality, and a reality in which things are happening to me and other people, and I'm moving in time. Only energetically arises in the body, the human body, and when it appears to be there, then it feels like an absolute reality then. It's unquestioned. It's unquestioned. It's like I am living my life. I know I'm living my life because I am living my life. It's my life. I make a decision. I do the thing I decided. There is a result, a consequence, and it's all happening in time. Tick, 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 tick. It's happening to me. And I can see that other people, they're living their lives as well. And sometimes we interact and we relate to each other, and da da da. So it's real. End of story, that's it. So that sense of separateness, that sense of self, oh, that was good work, Tori. Just blew the bee out the room, like just not having you to go. You got the message. That's completely thrown me off my tracks. I had no idea now what I was saying. Any questions? I'm not even joking, actually. I don't know where Yeah, just the whole sense of being me is a felt sense of being me, and it feels it just feels real, and it doesn't. People wouldn't question, is there really a me? And you would never hear this question really. It's very niche, and in some areas of spirituality, where it's a more kind of controlled and it's managed, you do hear the suggestion, there's no separate, like Buddhism, different things, you know, and then it's kind of but it's more of it's a nice idea, but generally the sense of me is unquestioned, and to question it is kind of crazy. It's seen as kind of crazy. What do you mean there's no you? Of course, what are you talking about? And it's quite scary actually. People would immediately go to almost like you're kind of psychotic now. You're kind of crazy. What are you talking about? There's no you, you know. But then more recently, there's a curiosity about it actually. So if you look on YouTube and different places, the suggestion is cropping up in different places now actually, and it's maybe there is no individual or there is no you. It's usually then softened by there is no you, but don't worry, it's okay. Because this is what you can do with that. You will worry less. So this communication is not softened because there's nobody to soften this for. Because there's nobody in this room. It's completely and utterly uncompromising because I can't see anybody to compromise to, because there's already nobody in this room. But in this conversation this afternoon, somebody, by talking, somebody could express that they feel like an individual. I still can't see an individual. I can, hear what people are saying. So that's what we do. We talk. It's a conversation. You cannot go wrong in this conversation. You cannot say a silly question or a particularly smart question either, because it doesn't matter. So energetically, if there's a sense of wanting to ask something or say something, just say it. It's just energy. It's just there to be said. Or don't. I don't mind it. You know. And in that sharing, in there's a discussion, it can be seen that there's not actually an answer to my question. It's not there's an answer to my question. It's really that there's no question. Because the question is from the sense of separateness, of what am I missing? But it can be very obvious that there's actually nothing missing. Because nothing has ever been missing. Nothing has ever been lost. This is boundless wholeness. Unconditional love. This is everything. Rooming, pragging. And all there is everything. All there is aliveness. There has that sense that there's a you that's alive has always only ever been a fiction or a story. Although it felt real, although it feels real when it's appearing, it really does feel like there's a me who thinks, who feels, who remembers, who plans, who's living their life. But that can unravel. It can just appear to collapse. Possibly. So we'll see what happens.
So I book a flight, and I think in a few weeks when I go to the airport, they'll let me on the plane and we'll go. And then I go to the airport in a few weeks and get on the plane. They let me on, and I go. And I think, oh yes, that means I knew it back then, and that was real booking or something. Is that part of this loop you're talking about?
So you managed not to get drunk before this flight and get not let on the flight.
Right, yeah. But
yeah, so I mean, like, there's this, the sense of being an individual is like, I can't describe it, I can just use really simple language to kind of describe it, you know, but it's a sense of a linear lived reality in time, you know. So one, it's causal, you know, when I say causality really is time from a different point of view, and some scientists are talking about it like that. In the same way that they say time and space are a continuum, you can't have one without the other. It's causality is really in the same, it's the same really, it's not possible without time. So it is, it's kind of like, it is time, but if viewed differently, if you want to put it like that. So the reality for the individual is a full reality, like it's completely real, that I'm there. So you're kind of in dialogue with yourself, you know. There's this sense of awareness and self-consciousness, and a sense that you're living your life. And you're planning then, so things are happening to you, and you really kind of feel that you're making them happen. So the flight to, where are we going to, by the way? Somewhere nice?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it.
You're just getting on any old flight. Wow, that's adventurous. Just fucking book me. We'll see where we end up. We're going to Jamaica, right? We're going to...
They do that in Florida when there's a hurricane coming. They just try to get on any flight.
Oh, do they? Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Yeah, life is wild in Florida. So there's a sense that, like, I'm going there. I'm going to New York. I'm going to Miami. So I book the flight. I first of all, I decide I'm going there. Yeah. I then take the action of booking the flight. Then the weeks appear to roll by, and there are thoughts that arise like, oh, I'm looking forward to Florida. It's in 5 weeks. I'm looking forward to Florida. It's in 3 weeks. It's in 2 weeks. And then, oh my God, time flew. Here I am at the airport, you know, and I'm going to Florida. And all the time is this energetic sense that you're there and it's really happening in time. So that it's this, what would you call it, like a feedback system that confirms its own reality all the time. So because you get to the airport and you board the flight, you imagined boarding the flight, and then it confirms that because you booked the ticket, it's happening because of you. But that's the same for everything. You know, we're just picking one example of the flight. That's the same in everything. Like sitting there on a seat, an individual will have energetically a really subtle kind of sense that they're sitting on the seat. Really, really subtle. It won't be like that they're kind of, oh, I'm sitting on a seat, but it's energetic. So it's everything, it's this sense of me for everything. And then we go to Florida and we what do we do in Florida? We rip the shit out of it. We party hard. So then you can't even remember Florida. It was that good. It was that good a weekend you can't even remember it. So then you have the memory of not being able to remember it. That was amazing. So then it's in the past. Do you know what I mean? It's the Florida weekend that happened last week, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And energetically, we have a feeling, it's a very really felt energetic feeling of a thing that happened in the past. And it's kind of, in Western culture, it's behind us, you know, it's kind of back there. And we're moving into the future, so we've got another trip planned, you know, so, and then we're in there's the thing called the now then. We talked about that yesterday a bit, like and then we're encouraged to be in the now, be in the moment. And it's kind of sandwiched somewhere in between the future and the past. It's hilarious, really, because if you think about it, it's such a narrative. What's this now? Like, where? Show it to me. But now, it's now. But what do you mean now? Like, when does it become the past? And nobody can answer that question. It's like a child's kind of awkward question, you know. When does the now become the past? And when do we kind of move into the future? We don't, because the future, the now and the past are a concept, really. But they don't feel like a concept, you know. So my long answer to you is that these things are, when that reality is felt, then that feels absolutely real, and I will have a sense of sitting on the chair holding the glass and the memory of Florida, or the Florida to come, or Florida gone, and the sense that I'm doing everything. I'm holding the glass and I booked the flight. The other possibility we're talking about all afternoon, I'm here all day, is apparently is that it's just appearing to happen. Now you as the individual, you can't imagine that, because imagining that it's just appearing to happen or it's not happening to me, it's actually unimaginable, because whatever you come up with is just another idea or concept. But in actuality there's simply aliveness, energy. There's no separate you, there's nobody else, there's just life, peoples, Miami's, airports, and it's actually one energy. There's only just wholeness already, appearing as a separate reality of Miami. We can measure Miami to Prague. You know, you could pull out your phone and we could find out how long. You could probably tell us actually you came from, how many hours or whatever.
Miami to London was 9 hours.
There you go. So it's 9, we're right on 2, so we're 11 hours. We're 11 hours in an airplane from Miami. So the 11 hours confirms the separateness of Miami and Prague, and the distance is however many kilometers, you know, whatever many thousand kilometers. And the suggestion is actually all the kilometers and the time and everything is an appearance. It just appears real. You know, just as you are an appearance. You know, but you don't feel like I could say a story or whatever. That doesn't feel. It's not obvious when you feel. It's not at all obvious when you feel real, you know, in this energetic sense of you. The individual certainly doesn't feel like a story, you know. But there are no requirements for it to be seen that you're a story. There's nothing needed. There's nothing needs to be known or understood. It can just energetically be very, very clear that this thing called me, that I was kind of talking to all these years, is not there. There is no me there, because there's no separateness.
So this internal commentary is just kind of energy also.
Well, all there is energy. Yeah. That's all there is. So an internal commentary is a sense that there is an internal and an external. So there's out there and there's in here. Yeah. And the inner landscape is my kingdom, you know. It's my kingdom, where they're my thoughts, and I'm free to think what I want and feel what I want, and it's up to me what to share or not share, whatever. Nothing wrong with any of that, but this is how it feels. And it feels like you're in dialogue with yourself. Well, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? You know, obviously nobody there, but it feels that you are, because of self-consciousness and our awareness, and they feel like they could somehow be the key to something. It feels it's very interesting to people. Like, how do I know that I know? Who is it that sees that I see? And they think then this is really kind of very, and that's why spiritual teachings put so much emphasis on all of that stuff. It sounds very esoteric, and it sounds very kind of, wow, that's amazing. Like I won't name names, but there's so many speakers who kind of would open up with awareness. He's aware. of awareness. And when awareness arises and falls away in the heart of nothing, and conscious is conscious of consciousness, and it's all fucking blah blah blah. But the person, the individual's like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. This is amazing. And this happened to you? Yes. The character here is in a state of non-dual awareness because I fell away and blah 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 blah. And it sounds so. Now it might sound like a bunch of bullshit to someone and they go, no, I'm not buying it. Or it might sound really like, oh my God, that just sounds so amazing. And it's all energetic, whether it's one or the other. And so the individual feels there is something to get, there is something to know. So kind of the more esoteric it sounds, the more attractive it can be. But what's being suggested now is actually that sense you're talking about of talk in dialogue with yourself. It's an aspect of knowing. It's an aspect of the sense of separateness. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's simply whatever's appearing to happen, but it's simply just energy. There's nobody there that you're talking to. And awareness is just a feature of knowing, actually. And knowing is just an aspect of you. Because when you feel separate, then you can know. Like if I really have this sense that I'm living my life, then in that knowing I can sit here in a room and talk to you about, I know I'm in the room. I know I'm sitting in the room, and because there's the room and there's me. And it's whatever, it's 2:30 and I'm in Prague and there's the room and I know this. And I speak from that knowing, and an aspect of that knowing is awareness. So the bad news is awareness has no significance whatsoever, which drives some people crazy, because they really think that, it's special maybe. So what everyone's yearning for is nothing to do with knowing. Because this is unknowable. Like, what's knowable about the sound of the traffic? It's so immediately the sound of the traffic. The little fly, the chandelier, the couch. You can't actually, any knowing of it it's immediately secondhand. So what everyone's yearning for is not knowable at all. It's not graspable, and it's completely inescapable. What you've always yearned for has never gone anywhere. It's simply been aliveness. That's it, really. I think we've summed it up. We can go to the pub and get drunk now. This is nothing appearing to happen. It's nothing appearing to happen. So the boarding the flight and the airplane and everything is always just nothing appearing to happen, as opposed to the lived reality when you feel like a separate individual of this is happening to me in time, one thing after another, and then we're moving in time. and that's all. That's only an appearance. That's all. And then there's a question about that feels big or small. You know, for some people it's a small question, but for some people it's huge. It's a real sense of what is it that I'm missing. Like I have to find it. There's something I'm not. There's a real sensitivity, you know, for some, and an agitation, kind of, an agitation with being the one who thinks, the one who hears, the one who sits, the one who. There's a kind of a more. For some, there's more of an agitation in it, and then there can be more of a sensitivity, but. There therefore is more of there can be more of an openness to another possibility. So then sometimes the sense of separateness can just appear to collapse. And that's simply whatever appears to happen. It's not a happening, and it doesn't matter because everyone's going to die anyway. Like everyone's going to die, we're all going to die. I usually save that for 6 o'clock on a Sunday, just to end on a good note, you know. By the way, you're all going to die. But it's like we're all physically going to fucking die. Like we behave as if we're not going to die. It's hilarious. Like we behave as if, oh, you know, because death to us is very, very confronting and frightening. I mean, like fear does arise around death naturally. It's a huge fear around death. But I mean that in an esoteric manner, their idea of death is very frightening because it's our absence. We're fucking terrified of not being there. And that's the big joke. Then, of course, we're not there. There's nobody there. There never has been anybody there. So on physical death. It's seen that there never was a you anyway.
Do you agree with statement which say you can't know it, you can only be it?
It's unknowable. So what we're talking about is unknowable. The individual lives in knowing, and in that reality of its own knowing. And so if something's missing, it feels like something is missing. The thing that's missing is knowable, of course. I just need to know what's missing. And it's very frustrating to the individual to hear that it's unknowable, actually. But the second part of it can be very frustrating. You know, it's because the whole energy of feeling separate is this movement of knowing and being safe in knowing, you know, protecting this me through knowing, you know. So that's it's frustrating to hear that what you're looking for is not knowable, and maybe it's more attractive, the second part of that. So that's what I would find about that statement, is the individual might say, okay, it's unknowable, but I can be it then. So that what I think would be heard there by an individual would be, I can be wholeness or whatever. So it would be more feed into the doing. Okay, I can't know it, but I can do it maybe, or something. So I wouldn't. What I'm saying is, I don't have an issue with that statement, but I wouldn't say that. It is a lived reality, you could say. It's not a knowing, it's not understanding. It's just that there's just what's appearing to happen, but there's nobody who can be it. There's just being, you know, aliveness. It's not me being aliveness, but there's just aliveness, you know. So there's no you who can be anything, actually. And the first part of that really is the seeing that you are not. You know, that's the scary. If the individual is, you think there's something missing, so I think that I feel like I can get something or have something, but actually what's actually yearned for is a loss of everything. Totally everything. Complete loss. You don't have anything. And then there's nothing, and nothing is everything. And then it can be clear that there's no you who can be or not be or know or da-da-da-da. There's just simply whatever's appearing to happen. And it's very clear that all there is what's appearing to happen, and that the bodies that talk as if they're individuals, they're clearly not individuals. They're just wholeness appearing, but they think they are, they feel they are. I mean, statements, for me, like statements are statements, you know, like there's some lovely kind of non-dual statements, and they're fine, I don't have any issue with them or whatever, but like, at the end of the day, this is a conversation, and a conversation is most alive in its sharing, in the conversation, not in a book that says, you are the ocean waving, but you feel that you are the wave, and people quote these things and say, oh my God, it's such a profound, beautiful, non-dual pointer. And I go, oh, fuck off. Whatever, maybe, I don't know, like it's nice, but I don't care about any of them really, you know. And some of them they're fine, they're totally fine, you know. And sometimes, interestingly, something can hit somebody. You could open a book and boom! You know, Jesus Christ! What? There's no me? Like, what's that guy, what's that guy's name? Rick, he's dead now quite a while, actually.
Liquorman?
What?
Liquorman?
No, Rick Lynchitz or something was his name. He was okay, like, he wasn't particularly uncompromising, but it was, I liked, he was an interesting character. When he opened a book, and he saw it was wee woo wee. I think The Open Secret, actually, and it said, you know that quote. The problem is that 99, everything you think or do or say, 99% of the time is about you, and there is no you or something. Did you ever hear that one? It's, but he read that, and he said that was, and he said the mad thing was he'd read that hundreds of times. Hundreds of times he'd read it. Yeah, okay, that's nice. And one day he read it and he said it was all over. So I suppose I'm contradicting myself in the sense that, like, there can be these expressions that the written word can actually really, it can just bomb. But for me, this sharing is it's in this conversation. It's when there's a gathering and we're sharing like this. It's not really in a book or an Instagram post or a video or whatever, you know. It can have echoes of it for sure, and it can say a point of it. There's something about gathering.
Yeah, but some say it is not even about sharing.
It is not even what?
It is not even about sharing too.
No, it's not. It's like this is totally paradoxical. But the individual is the one who has a problem with paradoxes, because this is what we're talking about is unimaginably, indescribably stunning, far beyond your idea of what it could be, and completely, totally, utterly ordinary and nothing at all. So for the individual, that's a paradox, isn't it? It's like, well, which is it? Is it completely stunning beyond anything you could imagine? Or is it fucking ordinary and simple? Because it can't be both. But it is. Because it's simply aliveness. It's nothing, it's not special. It's just aliveness. Is boundless wholeness. And that's the trick of it, is that it's so simple and ordinary and already the case that the individual just overlooks in favor of its idea of what's looked for, you know, the model of. So, I mean, like this, I have no issue with there'll be continual contradictions throughout the afternoon. I'll talk about falling away, and then someone go, I thought there was no individual to fall away. And I say, yeah, there isn't. So that's what, in other words, like, it's kind of the reason you heard the word apparent so often. Apparent. Because the language is used in such a way that it's just pointing at something. But if you stick with the language conceptually, it's like you're continually going, well, that's a paradox, because it's either how can it be this way and this way? How can it be this way? Because, you know what I mean? For the individual, it's a dualistic reality where it's kind of either this or this. Do you know what I mean? That kind of play of opposites. So, like, we talked about this yesterday, there's not even a meeting. There's not even really a meeting. But in the appearance of it, we can all agree that we could say that we're at the meeting. This is the meeting in Prague. It's happening. You know, it started at this time, but that is just a story. It's the same with everything. But the individual is in the concrete and the real, and well, this is the meeting. It's Sunday, and it's this time, and it's real. And it will, because the individual has a lived sense of moving in time. So things start, and they have a kind of a middle, and they have an end. And there you have your meeting, and that's the meeting. So I can look forward to it, or dread it. And then it's really happening now. This is it, it's happening. And now it's going to finish. And all of that is a total dream. It's just an illusion. This is nothing appearing to happen. So energy appears as a meeting. It appears as a dinner. Do you remember we went for dinner last night? And we could say, well, I could say, well, that was the meeting. I put a trick on you all. The meeting wasn't until we got to the dinner. You know, and you go, oh, really? I go, no, I'm fucking with you again. Do you know what I mean? Like, where are the boundaries on these things? The boundaries are there because of knowing, and in the story, this is this, and that is that, and da-da-da-da. And it doesn't feel like a story when you feel really like you. But when the sense of you isn't there, it's clearly just a narrative. Everything is just a narrative. So you're right, like there is no sharing. Yeah, there's no sharing. There's no communication. No, there's no communication. There's no such thing as non-duality. No, there's no such thing as non-duality. There's no such thing as liberation. No, there isn't. There isn't. It's just a sharing. But for the individual, that's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you keep pulling the rug out from under me. Yeah. There's no There is absolutely nothing special about what's being yearned for, at all. It's completely ordinary. There's no speaker that is in any way special or has anything that someone else doesn't have. Nobody. It's a complete illusion. Any speaker is just a body character that is, there's just a suggestion being made. It's that simple. There's not even a differentiation between a speaker and someone. It seems that way because I'm in this seat or whatever. Or like, and people look at you and then they think, and it's impossible to feel that maybe the speaker has something I would like to have. It's impossible. Or know something I would like to know, maybe. Or, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's not, until it's seen that it's just a body, a cluster of cells, then it's just, that's the way it is then. Like it's so simple. There's just aliveness. It's inescapable. There's just aliveness. There's no you that's alive. This is already everything. There's nothing needs to be known. No meetings need to be attended. No YouTube videos need to be watched. But maybe all that will appear to happen. I have no idea. Have you any more statements?
Thank you.
So there's this sense that I know things that you don't know, and that you know things I don't know. And I guess that's part of this sense of being me. I would say, I mean, also like, I know my bank account password and you don't know it. But I guess that's, again, going back to this fine line and causation.
Well, if you think about that, it's just energy, you know. Like every snowflake is unique, every flower is unique, every human, every cluster of trillions of cells that appears as this human being is completely unique. And you feel that when what you perceive as other people, bodies, everyone has a kind of a rhythm and a flavor, you could say, like a different uniqueness, and it's not that they are an individual, it's that it's wholeness appearing as this completely unique body. And that completely unique body will know things that no other human will know. Simple as that. No other human will ever know. And have felt kind of experiences and things that nobody will ever, you can't even describe. And that, you know, like, will live in a certain house with a certain address and drive a certain car and have remember a 4-digit code for their phone and da 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 da. But none of that is confirmation of an individual. If you think about it, if you think about that, it's just energy. Everything is energy. Energy as a 4-digit code, energy as a mobile phone, energy as a car, energy as a job, energy as a memory. You know. So it's just aliveness as that unique expression. And where things get complicated is this sense that, well, I'm me because I have this unique. You don't know you don't know things. You know, you don't know. What am I thinking now? You know, you don't. I don't know. You know, of course you don't. Or like when I first started speaking on this, I remember someone said to me, "Well, it's if there's wholeness, then what's that guy over there feeling?" So I don't fucking know what he's feeling. But no, but there's wholeness. I thought you said there was wholeness. So if there's wholeness, then you should know what he's feeling. I understand what they're thinking, the logic. And the logic is that, you know, you could just, if it's wholeness, this separate entity could just jump around and like go to Mars and teleport myself to Florida without the flight. And it's a nice idea, but it's just an idea. Because that's not how it is. Because everything is unique. And this body is everything as this body, and as the things that arise here, like the thoughts, the emotions, the 4-digit code, but when the sense of you isn't there, it's obvious that that's actually everything, appearing as that, in the same way that boundless, unlimitedness, freedom appears as bound and limited. Or else it wouldn't be boundless, unlimited freedom. It couldn't be. It couldn't be boundless, unlimited freedom unless it also appeared as constrained and bound. And in this case, the bound sense of being bound is the sense that we have of where we actually feel we're in the skin, like everything under the skin is me. You know, it's kind of like, this is my body, I'm in here. Like, where exactly are you, actually? You know, it's my hand. I control it. And I'm in here, you know. Now, where are you? Behind the kidneys? Are you down there? Are you in your, you know, some people are. So, are you behind the eyes, you know? Maybe the men are all like, oh. That's the bad rep we get, you know. But like, are you behind the eyes maybe? Some people report that they're behind the eyes. A lot of people actually report that they're behind. When describing themselves, they say, and that's when you see people look at each other, they sometimes look like, you know, kind of like, look at the eyes as the window to the soul, as like, who am I talking to? Like, who's behind there? And there's nobody behind there. It's very simple. There's nobody behind there because there is no separate entity, and it's a fiction. And it's in the fiction we all agree that there is a you, but you know, but it's clearly a narrative. A narrative that we're bombarded with, like we're completely, totally, and utterly bombarded with. It's like the only circus in town. Is the me. You know, if you turn on the TV, you open your phone, all of it is speaking to this entity called you. Really. And then energetically there's a sense of, because that confirms that I'm real. So everyone is kind of confirming that they're real in their unique way by bringing in information and picking the information that fits their narrative. Do you know what I mean? And that's just how it goes. It's just all energetic. It's not bad, of course. It's not wrong. It has no meaning at all. And it's just what's appearing to happen. Until it doesn't. And you feel, just like remember we were saying earlier about everyone thinks they're going to live forever. That's the way it feels like. We all feel we'll live forever. So it's always going to be like that. But it's only that that's in your reality that it's going to be like that. It could collapse at that sense of separateness could just collapse. And what's remarkable about the collapse is that this is where the laughter comes into it. Nothing happens. It's the illumination or the scene that Jesus Christ. It was always just this. Like I was always a story. So nobody's ever fallen away really, or nobody's ever been liberated, because liberation is the scene that there is nobody. So everyone just is there, their rhythm, your rhythm is your rhythm, the things you like are the things you like, the food you eat, the things you are drawn to, the things you dislike. But what appears to happen then is this addition of me to all of that. I like this, I don't like that, I'm doing this, I know this, I know. And therein is the apparent problem. It's like a filter. It's like a filter to everything's filtering through this,
Yeah,
sounds, everything. Go on, yeah.
But then I shouldn't like this. I should like.
Oh yeah.
It goes all too messy.
Yeah. The shoulds and the shouldn'ts could get very strong.
Where it gets
it's like
really fucked up.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah. There's nobody can beat up on you better than you can beat up on yourself. Nobody. Our sense of unworthiness can be so enormous that nobody could treat you as badly as you can treat yourself, or talk to you as bad, because there's a sense of I'm too much of this and I'm not enough of this. So, why did I do this? Why did I say that? Oh, that person, they think I meant this when I did this or when I said this, and I have to and it's all just goes round and round and round, and at the heart of it is a sense of unworthiness.
I know about it.
Yeah, you could tell me about it. Oh, life! Don't talk to me about life. Yeah, and it's all of that unworthiness, all of it is out of a sense of separateness. And the sense of separateness, the unworthiness, is a sense of why have I lost everything? Why is there me and the world out there? It's so common. And then we play a game that it's not happening. Oh, I'm great, I'm fine. How are you? Good, really good. Really fucking good. How are you? Good. Good, we're good, you're good, I'm good, we're good. I was thinking about killing myself about half an hour ago, but I'm not going to tell you that. Or whatever, just to be a bit stark and dramatic.
It's different in each country.
It's different it appears different, yeah. It's different in each country.
Some countries, they try to be very positive.
Yeah, you're correct, yeah.
Not so much here. I think
you don't hide your misery.
people are more.
You have to be a little bit misery.
Okay, no, don't be too happy. Don't.
If you're too happy, something's wrong.
I was wondering why people are looking at me, going, "What the fuck is wrong with that guy? What is he saying?"
Yeah. He was smiling all the time. Maybe he's taking something or something.
Yeah. The Russians are a bit like that too, aren't they? It's kind of serious. You kind of got to be serious. No, I don't know much about Russian. I'm told that if you smile too much, he's a clown. Don't be a clown. Yeah, because everything, like we were just saying there, every apparent individual, every cluster of however many cells is completely unique. but also it's the same. Every country has its flavor. Every culture has its flavor. Every society, and even within that, areas within the country will have a different.
Still,
It's all energetic. It's
family.
and family, exactly. Yeah. I wish someone had told me earlier. When I'm out there, gotta look a bit more.
Maybe after 8 o'clock, after the third bivo, after the third beer, you can smile a little bit more. Then it's okay.
There's a kind of watershed. There's a kind of a cut-off point. Okay, now you can smile. 8 o'clock or 3 beers, one or the other. 8 o'clock or 3 beers, you pick.
Or when the, how you say, where the income comes on your account.
Oh, okay, yeah. The end of the month or the. Yeah. I'm beginning to like it here. I'm a miserable old bastard, you know, so I'm feeling really well. And what's funny then is when people from this kind of culture go to somewhere, like some places in America, for instance, it's like the opposite. Yay! How are you? Have a nice day! That's funny, that's spreading to other countries too. That's in Ireland now. You know, you buy a litre of milk, and you go, there's milk. Cheap. Yeah. Have a nice day. Fuck you. Maybe I won't have a fucking nice day. But it's come in from America. It's so funny. It's like, have a great day. Okay, maybe not. I don't know.
How can you have a great day with a liter of milk?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be told to have a nice day here in Prague and I buy something. Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
Buy beer.
If I buy beer, yeah. I'm not picking on the Americans or anything, but I mean, isn't it beautiful though that every culture, isn't it amazing how aliveness appears with all its different, you know, and people with all their proclivities and ways, and everything is completely unique, you know. But this is the newness of everything also that is not seen. Like everything is new. Everything is, and everyone is. It's wholeness as grumpy, wholeness as happy, and wholeness as blah 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 blah. But everything is full. It's full in its, and it's whole and complete in the way it is. But that's not seen by the individual. And the newness isn't seen. The newness, it can't be seen. Because in your reality, you're real, and the repeat button is on, basically. There's the illusion of repetition. You know, it's Sunday again. Oh, fucking Sunday. Oh, Sundays. I don't like Sundays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, oh, it's this guy again. This guy. Oh, Jesus. Really? Do I have to talk to this guy? And the guy is going, oh shit, it's this fucker. Oh no. Hi, how are you doing? Great. How are you? How's the family? Great. Good. You know, because we think we see each other and we don't see each other. We see our idea of that person. We don't meet people. We meet our idea of that, or a concept. And so therefore you never see, as an individual, nothing is seen as it actually is. It's what you meet is your idea of how life is, because you're just going around your reality. And there's kind of a sense of staleness. For some it's way more than others, but the sense of real repetition. Oh, it's Sunday. It's this. It's kind of, oh, I'm doing this, and it really feels like it's on, you know, because of that knowing. And the incredible thing is that there is no repetition at all. You never jump in the same river twice, as the Buddhists say. You never jump in the same river twice.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it's impossible to jump in the same river twice. It's impossible. But conceptually, it's the river, and you've got a name for it, and you're jumping in the same river. But it's just a concept. Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. So everything, it's always new because it's there and it's not there. As opposed to being an object and being moving in time.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we love music. It's also based on repetition.
Yes.
Repetition has like tiny variations here
Yes.
and there. That's why we love it.
I think so. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
The same with river, maybe.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And a musical note is dying and being born at the same time. It's not beginning and then ending, but it sounds, it feels like it is, but it actually, it's death and its birth are in the same. It's there and it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So music is, yeah, there's something unknowable about music too, that the more you try to know it, the more it loses its kind of, it's incredible.
Or that feeling like, oh, I got it now, I'm gonna record it. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
you listen to the recording and it's shitty.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It sometimes works this way with music.
Oh, for sure. I mean, music, when you talk, music is just aliveness.
Mm-hmm.
So you could come at it from any angle and say of this or that, or it's, yeah. And there's an immediacy to it that speaks of what we're talking about. So that's why I remember a song, Pierre Ben Susan, El Jardín de Amor, and I don't speak French, and I was just crying, fucking crying, listening to this song, and I loved it so much. And then I thought, maybe I'll look up the lyrics. And I said, no, don't look up the lyrics, because I don't want to understand what he's saying. And it has that quality, we could hear something in another language. You have no idea what they're saying, but it just gets you.
Mm.
Really like, wow, something there. Yeah, it's the immediacy of it. And it's because it's also, everything is a wave in that sense of, like, all there is actually energy, and energy is that it's like a wave, and all music is like energy. It's like a resonance, and that's actually all there is. So everything is music in that sense.
It's funny. It reminded me something. So talking about it, there was an exhibition of pictures, and from some painter, and I really liked the pictures, and I said, well, this is just amazing picture, and I had some idea what state of mind would create such pictures or anything, and then I went for a commented talk with that painter, and it totally crushed all my beautiful feeling.
Oh, yeah.
He described it so differently that I imagined, so I just remember.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like how,
spoiled all my feeling from those paintings.
Yeah, and that's why you'd often hear a musician say, someone says, "What's the song about?" And they say, "You don't want to hear what the song." They say actually, the song is what it means to you. And if I tell you what the song is about, it's going to ruin the song for you, because it's now sometimes, of course, it's kind of, people want to know a general sense of it, but sometimes it is that mysterious kind of, like, it's the knowing kind of kills it a bit.
Yeah, knowing spoils.
Yeah. when I used to go to a lot of concerts, like all the time, every week concert. It was kind of my thing. And I used to feel sometimes, I could sense when I was listening to the music, and then when there was just the music. And when there was just the music, that was like, but it would be frustrating then if I felt I was listening to the music, because I want there to be just the music. But it was such a rare thing. It was like it would happen just sometimes, but if you tried to make it happen, I was like more aware, and then I became aware, like, what's this fucking agitation? Like, the music's really good, but I know, I was only looking back on it, I knew what it was about. I didn't understand it at the time, but I kind of felt like it was a kind of an agitation, and the agitation was that I was kind of aware of listening to the music. So there was being the listener. Whereas when there can be, with music, just the music. And a lot of musicians can talk, you hear a lot of musicians talking about that. It's sometimes in some gigs, there's no audience and no singer. But they can't bring it about. They're very curious about it. It's like, if I knew how to do that, I would just do it every night. And every night would be amazing. But I can't fucking do it. It's just... Or even I've heard some musicians say that it can even come and go in one song. Like in one song they can feel like they're playing, and then there's just the playing. And then they can feel like they're playing, and then there's just the playing. And they're saying I have no idea, no mystery. Yeah. It's a mystery, yeah. And that's really what it is a sense of you doing something, and then it just being, and that's why all those things can be so seductive and really kind of we are drawn to kind of activities that we lose our sense of self in, and that will be different for everybody. You know, somebody might enjoy painting, and they talk about when I hear people describe things, it's like there's no time. It's like, yeah, because when in that burst of creativity, there's not really this feeling that you're doing it. So when there's no sense of you doing it, there's clearly no time. And then, then I'm back and I'm painting. You hear it all the time when you talk. Different things, you know. Or sports as well. Some sports maybe.
Sleeping is the best.
Sleeping is the good, yeah. Unless it isn't.
Well,
unless you're tortured. Some people are tortured.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, sleeping is death. Yeah. So everyone dies every night, which is lovely.
Then you wake up.
Yeah, then you're reborn again.
Yeah.
It's somehow interesting that every living being falls asleep. The explanation is because the body does some repairs and so on, which could only happen in the sleep, but I think it could also happen in the wake state, those repair mechanisms of the cells and so on. I'm wondering if somehow everyone must return to the root somehow at night. Or
yeah, I think it is a kind of it's hugely energetic. There's a huge amount of energy in being you.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I would conceive of it.
Yeah.
Like the energy that goes into the face to meet the faces that we meet. You know, the energy of being this character is enormous. For some people, not so much, because they're just meh. It's not so much, but for some people, it's such a, you know, they're constantly on, like showing the best side of themselves, kind of thinking, oh no, don't say that because this person would think this, and this is all happening really quickly, and it's all exhausting. So then at night time, you're not there. And as you said, then it's kind of game on in the morning again. It is, yeah. There was a lovely talk where somebody, I think it was someone at Tony's meetings, he said, when I wake up in the morning, I can see me at the end of the bed smoking a cigarette. And they turn around and they say, I don't know, was it Tony or someone said it was beautiful. I said, oh, you're ready, come on, let's go. I remember that. It was such an amazing description. And they said, there's just like this moment when I wake up where I'm not really me yet. But then it's like, all right, come on, let's go. Let's get this.
It's a good picture.
It's really brilliant, yeah. Whoever's, I can't remember exactly, but it was brilliant.
Yes.
And I like the cigarette element of it. You know, just smoking a cigarette. Waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I was waiting here.
Yes.
I'm wonderful.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. We have stuff to do. We have shit to worry about. We've got to plan. We've got to worry about stuff that might not happen, probably won't ever happen, and definitely won't happen the way you think it's going to happen, but we're going to worry about it anyway. And we're going to worry about it all day long. It's going to take a lot of energy. So come on, let's get going. We have no time to waste.
So do you feel like you need less sleep? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't need food anymore. I sit out the sun. I get my energy from the sun. What do they call it again?
Breatharian.
Breatharian? I'm a breatharian, yeah. Don't need food. As you can see, I'm wasting away. Not this big belly here. No, I mean, there's just, the body just functions. That body functions, this body functions, everybody functions as it functions. Everything is unique. The microbiome, some food will agree with you, it won't agree with me, blah, 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 blah. So everybody's actually sleep is in the body. Some people need way more sleep actually, and some people maybe need less sleep, but it's all just in the body. And then the addition of me comes along then, and it's an overlay then, and that energetically is a sense that you're in there, so you're the one who's sleeping. Then I'm sleeping, and I'm eating, and I'm digesting my food, and I'm pumping blood around the body, even though I don't consciously have to do it, thank God, or breathe. It just happens. But the other stuff I am, like, we play this game where there's unconscious processes in the body, like blood circulation, breathing, all of these things, and they don't require any kind of attention. But then there's this other thing that you've no control over that, but you've control over these other things, and it's a total story. So I mean, if you don't feel there anymore, the body would just be the way the body is anyway, with sleep, with food, with whatever. But without this kind of restriction of this overlay of me. And it's kind of what you were saying about shoulds and shouldn'ts. That's really the most remarkable thing that's seen, is that when I felt like me, I was in this loop of I'm too much this, I'm not enough this, and you said it as well, like this narration. And energetically, it's just like this, it's always to do with me, and that when there's no you, there's just boundless freedom. It's not describable. There's just what's appearing to happen. So the character can be more free, because there's nobody pushing down the character with the shoulds and the shouldn'ts. You're that character there. If we were to spend time, I get a sense of the character. Like the way your humor, what you like to eat, maybe your opinions about this and that, and all I still wouldn't see anybody there. I would just see aliveness as that character, But if you then didn't feel like an individual, I don't know whether you do or you don't. It's none of my business. But if there was no sense, then the character is full to be the character, and obviously including all the things that people don't like, because who gives a shit? Oh, you don't like the way I'm like that? Okay, thanks for the information. I'll try and be more aware of that. I will consider your feedback. You have to tell me when it's time for tea or anything. I have no idea.
Then 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
sometimes with the sleep thing though, one thing I would say is that there can be a huge tiredness that comes around this. And it is because the energy of feeling like you, it's such an energetic, huge energetic thing, this game of you. And sometimes when this is heard, there can be really huge tiredness. People can take to the bed for weeks. I've heard, seriously. It can be such a huge sense of, and not want to, not have any compulsion to do anything, nothing at all. It's not uncommon actually. And I think that's what that is that whole energy was so kind of neurotic of having to, get after it, do, be this, be that, that kind of, when that unravels, it just, and the body just kind of almost shut down. Sometimes, not necessarily at all, but, and there can be real tiredness, like a really deep tiredness. Yeah. Being me is a full-time job. You think it is, And we because it feels like a full-time job, we kind of want a break from it every now. So then comes your drugs and your alcohol and there's your break, It's a fucking, I'm so sick of me. Then I want states of mind where I'm not me anymore. Yes. And it's such a relief, it can be such a relief. But then the thing that's giving you relief becomes the problem then. And then it's this vicious feedback thing then. It's very understandable, like if you think of it, it's very understandable that people just want to hit that off button to that nagging voice that's, you're too much this, you're not enough that. If it can reach for something,
and yet it isn't really a problem.
No, it's all just energy. So the problem is real when the problem feels real. And then it's a real problem. Like, have you noticed that? Like it's a real problem when it feels like a real problem. And it's like if a friend comes to you and says, this is the problem, and you can see that the problem is in their creation, and you suggest that it's not a problem. You can get quite a lot of that. Well, you're just not listening to me. You know what I'm saying? We're actually, that would be more maybe true or congruent, or being a real friend would be not sometimes playing along and saying, no, I don't think so. I think actually that it's a story. But often the reaction is quite, no, you're not a true friend. Because really the friendship thing is you're kind of confirming, you're confirming each other's reality. So something is a problem if it feels like a problem, and therefore aliveness appears as a problem, but it's simply aliveness appearing as a problem. It's real and unreal,
I remember in my youth I sometimes forgot a problem. And I was sitting there and there was a problem right here, and I could feel it. But what was it? Oh no!
Happened
a few times.
Yeah. What was that thing I was worried about again?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay, oh god. God, I nearly went off track there.
Very frightening to have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it kind of is, yeah. It's very, it's a problem. Apparently.
It gets solved pretty quickly.
The mind is good at solving that problem, yeah. Oh, you think you have no problems? Okay, I'll give you some. Just give me half a second here. You sometimes see it, like I definitely, when I was, this character used to do social work, you know, it's just a role in a story. But you would be in scenarios where someone with their narrative was so strong, you know, and the narrative was what the narrative was, but it was, you know, it could be very negative, and because they were in a kind of a scenario where they were pulling in attention and help because they were a victim. Now they could have actually been a victim, but also the narrative was of being a victim. And it was interesting sometimes to suggest a different, to reframe it energetically, how that went down. Usually not very well.
No, I couldn't.
You're no good. I don't want you. I want a different social worker. Because you might be saying, oh God, you're doing very well actually. You're actually doing really well. You know, this is really good. No, it's not so good, no. Because the problem is you're becoming part of the problem because you're not confirming the problem. And if you're not confirming the problem, then my reality is not real. But we all feel that, like we all see that in what appear as other people, friends and stuff, and they come and you can kind of say, oh, well, you know, that's a story. You know? Maybe, and it can go down, it goes down how it goes down.
Yeah, maybe that's in friendship too, so the opposite is in friendships then.
Yeah.
Tapping each other a bit on the shoulder, I tell you what you want to hear from me, and the other way around.
That's exactly how it works though, but like when we feel like we're individuals, what it is what we think of as this concrete thing called a relationship is obviously not there. Obviously. There's no such thing as a relationship. But energetically what it is an unwritten contract. That's what it is. It's interactional, and it's you meet my needs and I meet your needs, and we'll call that friendship then. And we've been friends for 20 years. We've been friends all our life, and it's a story, and it's just energy, and it's not good or bad or right or wrong, but there's nothing actually there, and that's the freedom of seeing that there's nothing there is the beauty of it, but that's very frightening to the individual who feels they have real, because you feel real, then you feel there's a real relationship, and you feel it could be lost. So in a way, like it functions in a way that's kind of if you step out of line, if you break the contract, you're kind of very much encouraged to get back into the contract, say sorry, make amends, and we're back in line again. And then we dance for as long as we dance, as long as it's playing some sort of function. And then if it's not, then it's over, forget about it. It's beautiful actually. There's nothing there. Isn't it gorgeous? There's nothing there. But life friendships, friendship can appear, and life fathers and mothers and husbands and wives and girlfriends and brothers and blah blah blah. But it's just aliveness as that. There's actually nobody there. And it's the conditional nature of it is from the individual. There's a load of rules. But unconditional love is to actually see that there's nobody. Unconditional love doesn't require anything, doesn't need anything from anybody, because there is nobody. There is nobody else. There's just a life.
Yeah. Would you agree on something called collective unconscious? and it differs from place to place. Like I think, not Freud, but
Young,
Freud or
Carl
Young.
Jung.
Yes,
We were talking on the bridge this morning. We were walking. You were talking about Carl Jung, and you just kept talking, so I didn't get a chance to say anything. It's so not true. It's so unfair. It's a joke.
You were talking.
It's me that does all the talking. You don't stop talking.
I couldn't stop.
And the two of us were like, give me the... Anyway, we were talking at Jung, and this was like, for me, I read a book in like when I was about 15 or 16. I read about collective consciousness, and then when I was about 18, I met a guy from California. Well, I was in California, and he was talking about collective consciousness, and I can remember the conversation, because for me there was a real energy. I was fascinated by this, like a sense of like we're all one, like this is one, and I can still remember the conversation because it was so energetic. And then I got my book. I was so excited. I got my book about Carl Jung. Got another book by him, and the energy went because it goes from this sense that like collective consciousness, like as if we're talking about wholeness, like we're talking about today. And then he goes into knowing, and the knowing was just the more I read, and the more I knew, the more it was not the thing I thought it was. I remember that distinctly. I remember just throwing the book down at one point. It's like he's an interesting guy, but there's something just it's not there anymore. So for me, that's in answer to your question. That's what like when it was very much. It had kind of hints of that. We are one entity with this collective consciousness. Really resonated, and that's the problem. Then is the knowing. You drill into it and you think the knowing, and then it's applied. It's still applied to somebody, you know, but there is, of course, there is just peopling. So really, there is just mind, but we think in terms of my mind, your mind, and so it's we are in this dualistic separate reality, and it's all an illusion. Life just actually mind, of course. And is intelligent. And like that's why Rupert Sheldrake's stuff about morphic resonance and all of these things, there is something to what he's saying. Did you ever hear any of that stuff? What he's saying is it kind of moves out of the separate reality of you as an individual into a more, actually what he's saying really is there's just energy fields actually, and this illusion that, so what he talks about is, for instance, he gives lots of examples like, you actually know, if you go out to a shop now and someone stares at the back of your head, you actually know it. Yes. And they've done so many experiments that you will actually turn around. Yes. And it's true, they've shown it, because it's a survival mechanism. Because we were being hunted, and if you didn't know when someone had locked eyes on you, you're fucking dead. And so what he says is it proves that it's all just one energy, and that you can pick up on this energy. And for me, what he doesn't, the next step of what is missing is that there's no actual you at all. But some of his stuff is really, and there's loads of communications, like the likes of, I think it's a bit dated now, to be honest with you there. Even though some of what he said is quite interesting, but some of the areas of science are now looking at things completely differently. And it's really interesting. It's very challenging to the mainstream, because it's like everything you know is fucking, it's a model. All it is a model. You keep building on this model, but the model is just a fiction. You're only living in that reality. So Michael Levin in biology, similar thing. He's completely turning biology upside down and saying that it's all energy. It's just energy. And then that it's fascinating to listen to. But they're not saying what I'm saying today, because they keep applying it to somebody. AI is the same. There are a lot of people in AI see there is no individual, and they think it's quite funny that people think AI is going to be self-conscious because they see that self-consciousness is a story of knowing. It's not this big thing that you think. But they then go on to speak about an individual, like they then talk about meditation, and you can turn off the eye by meditating and so on. It's a nice idea, but they're still thinking and applying to this apparent self. So that's the difference, you know. But there's elements of what they're saying are fascinating. I think you can hear it in all sorts of stuff. Like, you know, when you say collective consciousness occurs, there's loads of different things where actually what's being said today, there's kind of a stare of it, but then it's overlaid with knowing. And overlaid with knowing and a dogma of what you can do. A kind of prescription. Like what you can do to be collective consciousness and not to be you.
Yeah.
So therefore immediately it's over. Because who are you talking to? Yeah. But it's in everything. I mean, we're talking about music. I hear it all the time. The way something's said, a particular line in music. It's this. That's what's being said. It's poetry. It's the way someone talks. It's always this suggestion. There's just this, you know. It's the constant invitation. But when there's a sense of me, it's continually being ignored. It's continually being like, okay, no thank you, no thank you. I'm kind of busy being me right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm not ready.
Call me next.
Call me next week. I'm not ready. I'm kind of ready, but I'm not fully ready.
A lot of stuff in front of me.
Yeah. And then I'll be ready.
But sometimes you just can't hear it because so much neurosis, you know, that comes from this apparent separation or whatever.
No, I'll offer a different.
Sorry?
I'll offer a different suggestion. I will offer a different suggestion. Right, so you're saying sometimes I can't hear it, right? What I'm saying to you is you can never hear it. You can never hear. The individual cannot hear what I'm saying in this room. Because I am not speaking to the individual. The individual is not interested in this, cannot hear this, and can only be an individual. That's all. So any clear speaker is not speaking to an individual. So it's not the individual that hears it, it's what you are, which already knows this. Everyone already knows this. Completely knows what I'm talking about. But overlaying that can be this energy of me, which feels that, as you said, I can't hear it now, I can hear it, I can't hear it. It's not actually the you that's hearing anything. Because the individual, the you, is just interested in being an individual, that's all.
What I meant is that when there's a lot of neurosis, there's a sort of blindness.
But like the neurosis is just what's appearing to happen, and it could be seen. It could be absolute neurosis, fear, suffering, and whatever, and then it could be that there's just what's appearing to happen. There could be the most unimaginable pain, and it could be seen that pain is unconditional love. But what's not seen is the neurosis is actually already it. The pain is already it. The sadness is already it. The confusion is already it. Because what we're yearning for is simply whatever's appearing to happen. But
without the me.
Well, it's simply whatever's appearing to happen. But the sense of being me is that, oh, well, this is sadness. It's not. Don't tell me it's sadness. Don't tell me it's sadness. No, thank you. Do not like the sadness. No. Do you know what I mean? Because the sense of being a me is like it's this and it's not that.
Yeah.
So don't tell me it's pain and sadness. I don't want to hear that. Because I'm busy pushing away my pain. I've been trying to deal with my pain all of my life Don't tell me it's pain. And it's not open. That's not, no. But maybe then it can be obvious that actually it is the pain, because pain is aliveness as pain. It's inescapable. It's so immediately whatever is appearing to happen. It's not some state, some positive state of love and we imagine, love, wholeness. Everyone loves me and I love everybody and no bad shit happens. It's a nice idea. It's just an idea. It's just a concept. Wholeness is the pain, sadness, because of course that's aliveness. And that's the all-embracingness of what's appearing. And that is the big shock to the individual, is that what I'd yearned for had never been anything else but what was appearing to happen. And that's the part that makes this not a very popular communication. Because the individual wants to be fed and told that maybe someday you'll get there. Just work harder, meditate harder, be more in the moment, whatever. The first part of the meeting has now come to a conclusion, and we are going to have coffee. So we'll pause the full-on aliveness and we'll start back again when I say so.